Inanna returns. Chapter 5. Enki. We Palladians consider ourselves to be of the reptilian racial base. As evidence of our connection to you, the human species possesses a reptilian brain located in the cerebellum, which controls the autonomic functions of the body. In all the worlds, including the Palladian star system, many races abound. There are no words in your language to describe these races. You cannot even pronounce their names because the sounds would be foreign to you. When Anu first came to Terra 500,000 years ago, the dragon people and the snake people were already here. Naturally, they were reluctant to share their planet. Anu wanted the gold, but the dragon people feared Anu would not respect their peaceful ways. They had spent eons setting lines of magnetic energy around Terra and had constructed endless tunnels in cooperation with the snake people. The energy vortexes which power their civilizations are in these tunnels, along with enormous stores of precious stones and metals. Quite a few battles ensued on Terra and in her skies. Finally, arrangements were made, territories were drawn, and Anu agreed to meet with a dragon princess named Id to seal the alliance. From this coupling came the male child Enki. Id is superbly beautiful. Anu found her greenish, golden, metallic skin and deep red eyes mysteriously appealing. Their son Enki has an air of aristocratic elegance, and he has a tail. I like the tail. I think it adds mystery to his Merlin-like face. He also has pointed ears with long lobes, which seems to have caused some confusion about who he is. But Enki's resemblance to the mythical creature called the devil is purely accidental. My dear Enki is a soft-hearted sort whose main flaw lies in an inability to say no to anyone. He is most assuredly not a devil. Enki was educated on Nibiru. His mother Id did not care for the never-ending parties given by my great-grandmother Antu. So Enki and Id were happy to move to Terra. And Id lived there with her people in the tunnels, and Enki built himself a beautiful kingdom in the sea called the Apsu. The structures of the Apsu were built of silver and lapis lazuli, part high on a mountain and part submerged underwater. This was very practical as the submerged part offered protection from the unpredictable waves of radiation that swept across Terra in those early days. When Enki wasn't working in the Apsu, he built dams and rerouted waters. Loving water, he frequently paddled around the marshes of Sumer and Babylon in a little boat all by himself, studying fish, insects, and the grasses along the river banks. Enki loved this planet. I suppose he got that from Id. The beauty of Terra flows in the blood of ancient people. Unfortunately, Anu sent Enlil to Terra after Enki had already been there for a while. When Enlil arrived to take command of the colony, he made a big deal about his being the true son of Anu and left Enki with little choice. Domains were divided. Enki was to keep the Apsu and Egypt. Enlil took rulership of Sumer, the mining operations in Africa, the spaceport, and command of the astronauts, both those orbiting around and living on Terra. Ninhursag told me that even as children, Enlil and Enki had fought. She secretly thought that it was Antu's idea to ship them all off to Terra so that endless arguing wouldn't interfere with her parties. Enki didn't exactly encourage the dragon people to cooperate with his half-brother Enlil. The dragons naturally preferred Enki as he was one of them, and he was very protective of his mother Id. Whatever decisions Enlil made, Enki disagreed with. This wreaked havoc upon Terra. Neither son was right or wrong, each one in his own way. They both wanted complete control. The sons of Enki and Enlil came to share the same animosities as their fathers. Did not hesitate to use them in the conflict. The entire family and the Lulas were dragged into this rivalry, which has been the catalyst for all of Terra's unfortunate history. Even though I am the granddaughter of Enlil, I always enjoyed the company of Enki. Enki is someone you can have fun with. Enki loves women, all of them. Enlil is so serious. Enki and Enlil are oil and water. As time on Terra passed, the territories kept being subdivided among the sons of Enki and the sons of Enlil to prevent war. It was easy to see that if I didn't take matters into my own hands, I would wind up with nothing in this contentious group. So I decided to pay Enki a visit. I dressed in my finest gown and jewels and flew down to the Abzu. I knew that Enki kept the divine Mies, or divine MEs, in the Abzu, and I was hoping to take advantage of his weakness for women and drink. The MEs are based on a technology that is only now being discovered on Terra. Imagine a computer with all the knowledge in the universe. This computer transfers knowledge into the mind of the user in the form of a hologram. The knowledge is transferred to the user holographically as a totality, so learning does not take place bit by bit in a linear manner. The processor of the MEs has complete understanding of the information in each ME instantly. Knowledge is power to create civilizations, to predict the movement of the stars, to travel beyond Terra, to regulate the atmosphere, all the sciences and arts. I wanted this power for myself. As always, Enki was delighted to see me, praising my beauty and charms. He hugged me inappropriately. Enki's servants followed us into a cozy den with trays of delicious delicacies imported from Nibiru, exquisitely prepared cakes, and Sumerian beers. When Enki was distracted, I dosed his beard with my own magical herbs. These herbs enhances one's frequency, especially elderly gentlemen whose potencies might be fading. Enki was having a wonderful time, and he couldn't take his eyes off me, alluring as I am. Enki was soon putting back goblets of beer, one after the other. Enki has a wonderful sense of humor, and I was telling him the most amusing stories about the priestesses in my temples. We feasted, drank, and laughed for 3 days. More than once, I danced for Enki, sometimes like the 7-veiled number, which can be so effective. He loved that. At last, I asked him for the MEs. Many of the sons already possessed them, and I wanted my own set. At first he was reluctant. He knew it was forbidden. It would make Enlil furious if I got them without his permission. Enlil would have to be told. So I poured Enki another drink. I didn't see why the great Enki should have to ask his brother Enlil for anything. I told him a particularly juicy temple story. While he was laughing, I begged him for the MEs in my sweetest voice. Enki was so thrilled by my enticements He finally said yes. I think he was also enjoying the thought of how much it would aggravate Enlil. Enki was feeling the effects of the herbs and began to fall into a nap. As he started to snore, I gathered the MEs into a golden case I had brought along. The MEs appeared as 12-sided crystals of great beauty and color and can be activated only if you know the sacred sounds that make them vibrate and emit their secrets. Ninhursag had taught me these sounds on Nibiru. As Enki's snoring grew louder, I slipped out the door with the MEs. I had bought 2 spacecrafts with me. One was official and the other was my private ship. I had a feeling Enki might change his mind and try to get the MEs back when he woke up. So I sent my official ship home as a decoy and flew away in my small ship, which I am quite capable of piloting along with the MEs. When Enki awoke from his nap, he didn't quite remember everything, and his servants had to remind him that he had given the MEs to his beloved Inanna. Feeling a little used and abandoned, Enki's male ego flew into gear. He loudly ordered his servants to chase me down to bring me and the MEs back to him. I knew it was a pretense to get me back and to pacify Enlil and the other gods. I had cleverly foreseen this possibility and had hidden safely underground in a dragon sanctuary with my MEs. It is the way of the family of Antu that if you have the will to take power, you are respected for it. Enki and Enlil will to take power. Enki and Enlil are so impressed by my daring, they granted me the right to keep the MEs. They made me a member of the family council, the pantheon of 12. I had gotten all I had wanted and more. I declared myself the queen of heaven and earth. I now possess the technology to start my own cities, and I acquired a more powerful place within my family. I obtained power because I was courageously seized it, and I am still very fond of Enki.